This is Nick's Right Podcast. We're live from my apartment. We decided to do a little home studio thing this way because, it's $400 an hour for the
God
studio
forbid
time.
we perfect this because Nick's entrepreneurial spirit will be like, hey, man, let's start renting our space out and,
and now
shooting
getting
people's
a phone call,
podcasts.
which is probably interrupting my recording. Dang it. That means I have to check that. That's annoying me. I don't think it is because it's still going. So
what is?
I don't know if it interrupted the recording.
You want me to check?
Yeah.
How will I know, Nick?
I don't know. See if it's still recording. Can you tell if it's recording or not?
That's what I'm asking.
See if it's still recording. Does it show recording?
You are recording.
All right, great. That's all I need to know.
1 minute, 46 seconds, 47 seconds.
Perfect. Sit back down. Because I had a random phone call come through, so that's why I was a little worried about it.
Oh, I see.
All right, so I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do on this one, dude. I'm just exhausted.
I know you're all stressed out.
But we got it. We're here. We are live via Rumble, YouTube, X, and Twitch. I don't know if we're gonna have any followers on Twitch. You need to pull that microphone in. And now you just muted yourself because you're grabbing the freaking microphone. You're manhandling.
Uh-oh. I hear you through the microphone and not me.
Stop it. Just pull it in do this. Pull it in like this.
Why?
Can
It's
you hear
fine.
yourself?
It's fine.
Can you hear yourself?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I can hear myself.
I'm
This
stressed out,
microphone,
dude.
is going to be all over the place with me during this podcast.
Okay, fine. I'm just stressed out, man. Because
I know.
let me tell you about what
you got to be.
You remember what happened
stuntman
last
to weave
time?
your way.
I told you that I walked out of that, because this is my apartment. So the door that's right behind you is the door that I walked out of to walk into the puddle of water.
Yeah.
So the update to that, if you look up, there's patches on the ceiling because the night after that, we recorded that, and then that night after we recorded that episode, I was sitting on this couch, and that light bulb, that third light bulb right there,
Yeah.
I heard a dripping while I was watching TV.
Yep.
And when I looked up, there was water streaming from the base of that light, hitting that bulb and hitting that little lamp glass area and just flowing onto...
It's the house that Jack built, dude.
Dude, it
You
was...
ever hear about the house that Jack built?
I saw it and I was astonished. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And I had to get buckets. I had to get... what do you call it? Like towels all over the place because it started coming out there. It started coming out where that other patch is. And I also
honestly, Nick, I don't see any patches, man.
Well, you can't because they did a good job. They had to paint over them. You see there and over there.
All you see are patches. Though,
yeah.
right?
Well, what they had to do, they had to come and cut holes because the person above me, the reason why I was getting all this water in my apartment, the person above me, they kept putting stuff in their garbage disposal that they weren't supposed to put in. And then it broke, and yet they kept feeding it. And then they ran their dishwasher, and it started to flood in their apartment. But instead of stopping, they kept running the dishwasher.
Hey, look, man, you had me at the people above me. I was like, this is going to be a bad story. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how all that ended. The guy that came, I had to do an emergency call to maintenance. The guy that came, he was super gracious. He was really, really understanding, and he was profusely thanking me because I didn't I actually was proactive. I actually got buckets out and
profusely. That's a good word.
Profusely. Yes, write it down, Nick. Write it down. This new thing that you've been doing when it comes to the words of the day. Write it down. So they said that they're going to take care of me, and then a couple days later they came and they cut holes because they had this little moisture detector. Mm-hmm. So they detected the moisture, and I was like, that's actually pretty fantastic. I didn't know you could actually detect moisture with a little, because they just put a little device up and it was like beeping where there's moisture. So he just cut a hole. He's like, we'll give it a few days to air out, and once it airs out, we'll come back and patch it up. I was like, oh man, I was told by the other maintenance guy that they're going to rip out the whole ceiling so there's no mold that gets in there.
They call that technology. What is the purpose of technology?
To be convenient.
To perfect itself.
That is not the purpose of technology. It is to make people's jobs more convenient.
I'm not saying it doesn't make life convenient.
But that's not the purpose of technology is not to make things perfect.
If what you're saying is true, Nick, then people would develop a technology that makes life convenient and stop developing it. But they don't do that. They go,
it's
how
always,
can we make this better?
No. It's always
that's why
it's an endeavor to make things more convenient. That's it. That's not perfection, because you can never make the technology will never be perfect ever.
I'm not saying it will. But the idea is to continuously perfect it.
No, continuously to make it more convenient.
No, okay, whatever, man.
That's it, because that's a whole purpose of technology.
I think we're saying the same thing, but I'm just being smarter about it because
you're not being smarter about it.
Whatever, man.
Okay. So let me tell you what happened this morning.
Okay. Let's start with anecdotal funny stories.
Yeah,
I'll let you go first.
Well, this is what happened.
To go first.
I almost lost my mind this morning. It was, I was so stressed out. So this is what happened. I did my normal routine, didn't walk in any water, praise the Lord. And then when I got done with my quiet time and I was starting to get, I showered and I was starting to get ready for the gym. Yes, I showered before the gym. Don't judge me. So I was fixing my protein shake and all that other stuff. It was fine. And before I did all that, I put my keys, my apartment keys and my RAV4 keys in my hoodie pocket, both of them in the same pocket. And I remember doing that. And then I made my protein. I got everything ready, got my bag on my shoulder, my backpack, and I walked out the door to my RAV4, and then I started reaching for my RAV4 keys.
They disappeared in the black hole, which is your hoodie pocket, right?
I could not find them. And I'm like, okay, maybe I just maybe because my only explanation is I remember putting them in the pocket, but I also, in between making the protein shake, I had to go out to the truck to get a roll of tape, a gaff tape that I have to tape down my bottles because sometimes they come open in my bag, so I have to tape them down. And I ran out of tape of what I was using in my bag, so I had to go out to my truck and get the roll of gaff tape that I had to start using that. So I was thinking maybe when I went out there and I reached into the truck because I had to lean over, maybe it fell out of my pocket into the truck. So I went out to the truck. I was looking at every crevice, any little corner. I looked in the truck, nowhere to be found. And then I'm like, okay. And then I came back to the apartment. I was thinking maybe it fell off in the bag.
Yeah.
So I emptied my bag, could not find it. And then I started getting worried. I'm like, is the Matrix real? Like,
I was going to ask, were you getting worried because you couldn't find it, or were you getting worried because you were thinking on a deeper level? Like,
dude, I was
losing your mind.
I was losing. I was like, it was not 3 minutes ago that I was like, I remember grabbing them and putting them in my hoodie pocket. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I emptied my bag, couldn't find it. Then I started getting on the floor. Maybe it bounced and went under something. So I looked under the refrigerator, and I was like, crap, I shouldn't have looked under there because it's dirty, but I couldn't see it. So it wasn't under there. And then I looked under the stove, and it was even worse. Like, there's more dirt under the stove than I could possibly imagine. So I need to do some spring cleaning. And then I'm just freaking out even more. And I start retracing my steps everywhere in the house. I start looking under things that maybe it just bounced somewhere, because sometimes it goes and you're like, I don't know how it got there, but it got there. It bounced, And I went into the bathroom. I went into my bedroom, knowing that it
was still in your hoodie pocket. You just didn't feel it, right?
No. I felt my hoodie pocket several times and could not find it whatsoever. So I'm freaking out. I go back outside. I was like, maybe it bounced underneath the truck. Maybe it bounced underneath the Land Rover that's out there, that's always out there. I'm looking everywhere. And then I was like, well, I can't find it. I looked in the truck again, couldn't find it. Looked under things. Maybe it wedged itself somewhere, couldn't find it. And then I'm like, maybe it bounced over the ledge and it's downstairs where the rocks are.
That's what I was going to say. If I were Sherlock Holmes, I would listen to your story and immediately go downstairs thinking it fell through a crate or down a chute or something crazy.
So I just looked over and I couldn't see it just amongst the rocks with my blind eye. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, no, I wouldn't have done that. Like, it couldn't have bounced that far. That would have been a miracle if it would have done that. So I'm looking under, like maybe it's in a crevice next to the tire or something like that. I'm looking everywhere. I'm bending over. I'm looking from one angle to another angle. Could not find it. So I'll go back to the apartment, and I'm starting now. I emptied the bag at first, but not all the way. So this time I emptied the bag all the way, and I could not find it, and I'm just freaking the F out. Because I'm like, how could they have just disappeared?
God, wake me up, kind of thing.
So this is what I started thinking. I'm like, wait, I have 2 pockets on the same side, so a total of 4 pockets. Mm-hmm. And I really can't believe that I did this. 2 of those pockets don't work, so they're always open. And then I finally looked thoroughly in that pocket, and there it was.
Hot dog.
Dude, I was
on your person the
freaking
whole time.
out, man. And as soon as I found it, my hands just went straight to my face just to calm myself down. Because I'm like, what just happened?
Wow. So your heart rate accelerated.
And that's why I was so late to the gym. Because it was ridiculous.
That's crazy. You know what this story reminds me of, Nick?
Oh, here we go.
Several months ago, we did a TikTok. You and I did because I lost my phone.
Oh yeah, your phone was.
See?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I go because I couldn't find that phone anywhere, dude.
Yeah,
and we could
but you didn't
look it up on
thoroughly,
TikTok.
dude. You don't look thoroughly. I was looking thoroughly.
I was all over that truck.
You are not. How did I find it in less than 2 seconds? And
I don't know because the same thing happened to me. That happened to you.
No, I looked thoroughly, dude.
You looked thoroughly, and yet it was in your pocket the whole time.
No, it wasn't in my pocket. It was in the bag. Oh, it was on one of the side pockets of the bag. Okay. Yeah.
It was in the bag, and yet you looked thoroughly.
I did. I just didn't look in that one pocket.
Just barely.
Yours was like exactly where I thought it would be, and I found it looking just like that. You wouldn't have found mine. You wouldn't have done the same thing. You wouldn't have found it.
Dude. I just mentioned Sherlock Holmes, man.
Yeah, you wouldn't have found it.
I would have found it.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yes, I would have.
No, bet. I don't think you would have found it.
Process of elimination.
That's exactly what I did, and that's how I came to the conclusion that it was in the pocket.
Well, there you go. I would have just done it earlier.
No, you BS.
Why?
And this was all from like it. So I made a TikTok video this morning, and I'm pissed off at TikTok, bro, because I made.
I know why.
Well, yeah, I made a video about how the devil doesn't show up as the devil anymore. He shows up in a suit, in a lab coat, and a clipboard, and promises that he's going to make everything better.
Yeah.
And I basically made a 1-minute video, a little bit longer than that, on TikTok. They immediately took it down because I mentioned the word conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Oh, did you shoot the conspiracy theory?
No, not yet. I'm going to do that.
You need to do that.
But then they approved it, and then they banned it again. So I appealed it. They approved it. I got 4 views, and then they banned it again. And now I can't even. They took away the appeal process.
That's crazy, man.
So TikTok officially sucks. TikTok can suck it.
You know why they do that? Because they have little worms, algorithmic little worms, going around looking for words like conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And when it does, it shuts it down. So they don't have humans driving that part. But when you appeal it, I'm sure it's a human that goes, oh, okay, we'll put it back on. They put it back on. Boom, here come those little algorithmic worms again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking
ridiculous.
too. Like someone actually went in and appealed it and approved it, but then the system caught it again because I'm saying the word conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So I'm a little upset about that, but there's nothing really I can do about it. So
it's TikTok, dude.
It's TikTok. Man. So let's talk about our word segment. Do you have a story?
No, I got a story, Nick.
Oh, you got a story?
You think you're going insane? At least.
Someone call you a thumb again?
Hey, dude. I'm actually kind of proud of that. You know,
that was a good segment.
I like to act like it's it hurts me. I'm proud of that. Dude.
Okay.
I look like a thumb.
I think you should lean into it.
I don't have much of a neck. I got a bald head. I'm kind of proportional to a thumb.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I'm cool with that.
We should just end our segments.
Thumbs up.
Straight from the thumb himself.
Yeah, so unlike your episode of Insanity, which was self-caused and self-driven, this is something that happened to. Hey,
it was not self-caused. Well, I mean, I am the one that did it, but still,
it kind of was.
It was God. I think it was God saying, "I'm going to have a little fun with Nick this morning," and he's going to be like, "Boop." He just like plopped it out right into the crevice that I would never look.
I would absolutely love to think God's got a really.
I think he's got a great sense of humor.
Almost sick.
Not sick. No, not sick. No, not sick. Not
sick. He's gonna hide it in your side pocket, and
that's not sick though.
That's kind of sick.
That's not sick, dude.
That's like he's looking at you with a magnifying glass at a little ant running around.
No, that's not sick, man. That's just more of he's like, this is so small, and he's gonna freak out about it. Do you think if
what we're saying is true, he got a chuckle out of it?
Yeah,
it's kind of sick.
That's not sick.
Okay, man.
That's how I'm getting a little offended because you're calling my God sick. I'm sorry, he's not that kind of sick. Or he's not sick at all.
Offended, Nick. It's funny, man. He's just got a sense of humor.
It's a sense of humor, but you can't label the sense of humor sick.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, have you seen the duck-billed platypus lately?
That's not sick. That's funny.
Okay. That's true. That's just a sense of humor. Okay, so
gosh.
So
Nick's
my
right.
story is, I'm sitting at work. This is probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and a buddy of mine calls me at work on my cell phone, and he's like, "Hey, man, are you driving around Pipeline Road right now?" I was like, "No, dude, I'm at work right now." And he goes, I thought I saw you. There was a truck just like yours. It was driving around. And I looked at the driver, and he looked just like you, man. He was bald. Probably looked like a thumb, you know. He had glasses on just like you, man. You've got a doppelganger driving around, you know, Grapevine, Colleyville, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. I got a, you know, doppelganger. No big deal. The other day, I'm driving home from work. Now, I drive home from work the same route every day, to and from work. I drive the same route. And part of that route is Pool Road that turns into, what is it? Central. Just a long straight shot, right?
Right.
Kind of a thoroughfare, but it's got houses on one side and a church on the other. So it's a long thoroughfare, but it's sort of a residential place. And I'm just driving like I always do, man. And over on my right side, running this way, is like a 17, 18-year-old kid. He might have been 16-year-old kid with a dog on a string. Kind of tall, kind of lanky, long hair. And he's just running along, man. And I think nothing of this. Why would I think anything of it?
Yeah.
But when he sees my truck, he points right at me. He's like, like that. And it caught me off guard. I'm driving by. And so I was like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
I can just see you freaking out.
I don't know who this person is, you know?
Yeah.
He's waving at me, so I'm going to wave back at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No big deal. Very next day, same stretch of road, same time of day, just cruising along, going home. Same kid, same puppy on a string. Looks at me, he's like, hey! And I'm like, this time it happened once before, so it doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm ready for it because I didn't expect it, but I've seen this before. So I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. So
and I'm like, what?
You still don't know who the heck this kid is?
No, I have no idea, man.
Wow.
About a week after that, driving home, same time of day, same stretch of road, same kid, same puppy on a string, running by. He's like, what's up, man? And I'm like, hey, what's going on, bud? Yeah. And there's no closure to this story, man. There's no satisfying ending at all.
Why are you telling me the story if there's no closure? That's the worst kind of story there is.
Okay. Apparently, I'm wondering if he doesn't think I am my doppelganger.
Oh, the guy that.
A couple years ago.
Okay. The guy your buddy saw.
Doppelganger, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel terrible because I never have time or positioning to pull over and be, hey man, who are you, bud? I don't because he kind of looks like my little niece has a boyfriend. She's got a little boyfriend.
Does she?
Yeah, and it kind of looked like 15? Him. So the what?
She 15?
She just turned 16.
16, and she got a boyfriend?
Yeah, got a boyfriend.
I had a girlfriend at 14, so.
Ooh, well, Nick.
No, I'm just saying, like it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's they hold hands.
Yeah,
they go to family functions.
Yeah.
And when they get off, like wherever, there's probably like a smooch. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But now that she's driving and he's driving, man, I got to keep my shackles on her tight. Like 16, man, that's too young. But I'm glad she's got a boyfriend. He's a sweet kid too, And I thought maybe it was him. So the next time I'm talking to my niece, I was like, hey man, does your boyfriend, no names, does he jog with a dog, like a fat little terrier type of dog? And she's like, no. And I was like, not yet,
so you still haven't figured out who this kid is,
man.
Just waving profusely at you.
Well, yeah, listen, it's happened 3 times now.
Okay.
In very rapid succession, and it's always the same. He points at me and goes like that.
What? Then why don't you get out and be like, how do I know you?
What did I just get through saying, Nick? What did I just get through saying? I never have the time or the positioning in traffic, and I'm driving. Where am I going to pull over on Pool Road? It's
I don't know,
curb,
man.
And I'm like,
roll down my window like, hey!
Yeah, who are you, kid?
Hey!
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend does. Hey!
Oh, hey! Yeah.
She's gotten a lot sweeter, by the way. So, like, last time she was like, hey.
Oh, really? Yeah. I kind of like the hey.
I do too, man. That's my favorite one so far.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I thought that was, that's cool, man. When are we going to have her on our podcast, dude?
Well, according to our PR people, we definitely need to have her on. But speaking of the girlfriend, I was told that I need to talk about her because we have kind of an interesting story.
Oh.
So, like, just how we met and how we came together. So, I used to, TikTok sucks now, but before they started, before we started posting political things and we started posting our opinion and free speech and all that other stuff because they don't like that, we were actually just, it was just my channel, and I rebranded my channel to be the Nick's Right channel. And I went live a lot. So, I would do live during the gym. Right. That's how I gained a lot of my followers. I gained like 5,000 followers that way. Yeah. So, it was great. And she was one of my viewers that came in, and then this was after I'd already, I didn't leave my ex-wife. My ex-wife left me, but it was after all that happened, and I met her during that time.
Yeah.
So we started chatting pretty hardcore around November, and then, as you remember, my ex-wife calls me middle of December.
Wanted to rekindle.
And she didn't want to rekindle. She just called to see if I was okay because she saw one of my TikTok videos and she was like, okay, it seems like he's upset about something. And I also returned because I had found some journals of my ex-wife.
That's what she told you.
Well, yes. I found some journals of my ex-wife underneath my bed. I was looking for actually a pen because I wanted to start reading at night. And I started reading Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. And great book, by the way. Look up Wild at Heart. Great for men. Encouraged for women to read.
Oh, interesting.
But it's written for men. And they have an opposite book.
Continue with your story.
Well, they have an opposite book called Captivating that's encouraged for men to read, but meant for women. Anyway.
Kind of a men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Kind of, yes. But it's all under the Christian veil, all biblical, even though I have a hard time saying that word. I have to gear up myself to say biblical.
Yeah.
Biblical.
I like putting that other vowel in that. Biblical.
It's kind of like saying I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You have to speak in tongues just to. Anyway, me and my girlfriend, I'm not going to say her name. I'm not even going to say where she's from, but we were starting to chat back and forth on TikTok. She was refusing to give me her number because she's like, I'm so obsessed with you that if I give you my number, that's all I'll do is talk to you.
Yeah.
So we were chatting back and forth. I was actually sitting on this couch. I was watching TV, and she was like, one of my favorite movies is Maria on Netflix. Well, I started watching it because I like this girl, so I wanted to see what she was into. I already know she loves the Lord. She loves Jesus. That's hands down first thing that has to happen. And I told you last time the key to finding a good woman: loves the Lord. She has to be obsessed with you, and she has to be a traditional Latina, which my girlfriend meets all that requirement.
Why a traditional Latina?
Because traditional Latinas love their man, and they come from a culture of taking care of their husband. And this is what she told me here recently. She's like, Nick, if I ever am not taking care of you, if you call my mom, she will chew me out over the phone until I start taking care of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you shouldn't have told me that.
And they get chewed out 1,000 miles an hour, too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I love that. That's why I'm like, why didn't I just go for a Latina in the first place?
That's awesome. Yeah. Latina, man. But I tend to agree with that. But go ahead.
So I forgot where I was going with that. But, we were talking, texting back and forth in November, and it was around December whenever we're talking about the Maria, and I was watching Maria, and we were texting back and forth on TikTok, and then I get a random phone call from my ex-wife. And that's whenever, we talked for 6 hours. I told my girlfriend now that I was talking to at that time what was going on.
At all?
Huh?
Was she Latina? She was Filipino, right?
She was Filipino, yeah.
Is it Filipino or Filipina?
Filipina for women. It's like Latina and Latino.
I tried to spell it one time, Filipino for a story, and it said there's no H in it. It's P, Filipina.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, weird. Continue.
Anyway. Stop doing that because I gets my train of thought off. So my ex-wife calls me, and I don't know why I had to answer. Right now I'm thinking I shouldn't answer it. I should just continue talking to my girlfriend that I have now. So I regret that moment. But the man in me is like, well, if I can make this work, let's see what happens. But I was also curious because I'm an overly curious person. So I answered the phone call, and we talked for 6 hours, and she came to a really humble state that talked about my ex-wife at this point, and realized that she had been mistreating me. And so we decided to give it another shot. It didn't work, obviously, And once that fizzled out, I did get the ring back, by the way, which is something I was really wanting. Because she filed the annulment, which means she doesn't get to keep the ring, in my opinion. So if you filed the annulment, you don't want to be married to me, all that stuff comes back to me. Now, if I would have filed the annulment, or if I would have filed the divorce, or if I would have cheated or something of that nature, then I would have.
So question.
What?
Looking back, putting yourself in those shoes back in December, January.
Yeah, December.
Not knowing what you know now, because here we are 4 months later.
Right.
Later after. What odds were you giving that relationship to work?
Which one?
With
my ex-wife?
Yeah.
I'm always hopeful.
Yeah.
Because she was really good about saying she wants to try, and then her actions would say something different. But I'm a words of affirmation guy. That's one of my main love languages. So, and that's what I've had to really.
You believe in love languages, Nick?
I believe they have merit. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And I believe some people, or all of them, I believe some people really go into one or two of them, and I believe there's some that aren't listed. So
I have an opinion on that, but I'll share it later. Keep going.
Okay. So after my ex-wife, called it off again, and I'm thankful she did. If I had the hindsight go back, I would have never answered that phone call and just called the ring a loss, because it was just too much stress. And I would have just kept talking to my girlfriend now, because I feel like we lost time. But she's amazing. My girlfriend's amazing. Loves the Lord. She loves me, and I'm just thankful she gave me a second chance. But what a lot of people don't know is that I've never met her. I've never seen her face to face. We have text back and forth. I'm a big proponent of reverse image search. So anytime she sends me a selfie, or in the beginning when she sent me a selfie, I would search it.
Have you at least video chatted with this girl?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, we've exchanged videos. I'll ask her to send me a selfie video, and I send her selfie videos. You see me do that in the gym, and we do that back and forth, and we do voice messages back and forth.
Yeah.
But she's so into me, is how she says it, that she gets nervous. She has to be kind of distracted on the phone before she can even get on the phone with me. So she calls me when she's at the gym.
Boy, she doesn't strike me as being all nervous, man.
No, she's incredibly attractive.
Well,
and you would think
the way she goes, "Hey!"
No, yeah, but she would have to explain it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I'm even thinking gosh, if you love me this much, because we've already expressed we love each other, we do. I love her to death, and she loves me to death. She even says she tells me Nick, the amount of love I have for you is so vast that you will never be you will never ever be able to understand how much I love you. And I'm like, okay, let's find out. And so we already call each other future hubby, future wife. And she's going to school right now. She wants to get that done before we
take a road trip, Nick.
Well, and that's what our PR person said. Why aren't you going to this?
Oh, here's the story.
Yeah. Why aren't you going to her? And I'm like, well, do you understand the amount of money that I don't have? It's vastly large. And she's like, well, what about going to Southwest? I'm like, I'm sorry. That's how much money I don't have.
Yeah.
I can't. How much I want to. I want to go surprise her. I know what church she goes to. I want to show up one Sunday morning and just surprise her.
You could sneak in the luggage bin.
Well, so she's like, why don't you just drive out there? I was like, that would cost me just as much as going to Southwest.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I just don't have any money. You know how pinched I am right now. Mm-hmm. So she's like, Nick, people love loving relationships. You need to talk about this on your podcast. So, guys, if you want to support us to where we can actually see each other, I would love for you guys to. We have a profile on PayPal, just Nick's Right Podcast. You should be able to search it up, and if you want to donate to that, to where I can actually buy a plane ticket to go see my girlfriend for the first time, my future wife. She's not my girlfriend; she's my future wife. I would love that. And I will give you updates. We'll do more episodes where I can give you updates. And in the future, she will be on the podcast. She doesn't know it yet, but she will. Maybe voice only, because I think she's a little shy when it comes to that. She used to have an Instagram, have about a little over 1,000 followers, but she has way
on
more.
Instagram. Huh, interesting.
Used to. But she has way more peace not being active on social media. So she decided to just stay off of it.
Yeah.
But we have a great love story. We both love Jesus. We pray together. We encourage each other. We call each other out. We hear each other's exhortation. It's really awesome, and we banter really well, as you've heard on the recordings. Hey,
yeah. Yeah.
So that's my story about my girlfriend.
Yeah, it's very cool, man. Make that happen.
Yeah. So you guys donate.
Some crowdfunding and make that happen. That'd be awesome. I have a girlfriend. She's in Japan. I need a flight.
No, he doesn't.
What
Stop.
What are you talking about?
You're not gonna lie to these people. I'm sorry. You don't have a girlfriend in Japan. As much as you would like a girlfriend in Japan, you don't have a girlfriend in Japan.
Well, maybe I do, Nick. I just haven't told
I don't think you do.
It's okay. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Speaking of words that no one uses, even though that's not the segue we had.
Okay, so love languages.
Wait, love languages? We're going to talk about
love
that?
Languages.
Okay.
This is what I have. This is why my problem with love languages. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm not saying that certain things people appreciate certain things, right? Like yours is what words of affirmation.
I'm a words of affirmation guy and physical touch.
So
put your hands on me and tell me I look good. We're good to go.
Yeah, there you go. If I were to be put into the same sort of category as a love language guy, they'd probably be mine too. Words of affirmation, physical touch.
Okay.
But what are the others? Like 5 of them, right? Gifts.
Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, gift giving, and acts of service.
Acts of service, right? So the problem I have with all this is once we take all of these elements of love, we call them acts of love, right? Or love language.
Right.
And we put a tag on them and we categorize them and whatever else. And you find out that, say, your girlfriend or your wife likes gifts or whatever. You are now buying her a gift because she's in the category of someone who likes gifts. It's almost like saying, I'm going to give you a gift because I know that's your love language, as opposed to giving a gift for its real reason, which is because I love you, right? Like, and you can pick any one of them, like words of affirmation. I am going to affirm my wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, whatever, because I know that's what he likes, and it lessens the genuine nature.
No, it doesn't. That means they're making that physical effort to love you the way you want to receive love.
But it's not because they learned about you on a personal level. It's
sure. No, you would have to learn about them on a personal level just to be able to love them the way that they receive love the best way.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, you and I disagree on that, Nick.
No, I think the love languages work with what you're saying.
Why is that any different than going, I'm a Capricorn? Oh, I'm going to love you because you're a Capricorn.
No, that's not. Are you really comparing the love languages to astrology?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know why? Because it's the same thing.
It's
Nick.
not the same
thing. You're taking
thing.
this person and you're as an individual and you're boxing them up.
No, it's not, because that's why I said some
category.
people have all 5. Like when I take the love language test, I am pissed at it because I want to choose all 5 of them on every single one.
What's your argument? Why? What is your argument, though? You're telling me you're pissed off at the love language test when you take it because you want to be a part of all of them. Now you can't? You see, that's my whole point.
No, that's not. What I'm saying is it makes you choose because it's trying to make you admit there's some that are more important than others in your life. So
whatever, man.
But you've already admitted that it does work because you're saying, yeah, I want physical touch and I want words of affirmation because that's.
But I don't want someone that I'm dating or in a relationship to come give me physical touch because some love language, because I belong to some sort of grouping or a category.
But you like physical touch and you like words of affirmation.
I like authenticity, and it takes authenticity out of a relationship.
No, it doesn't. It's basically giving them the key to how to love you well.
It can't not take authenticity
No,
out.
it doesn't. You're wrong on that, Nick. It actually builds more authenticity.
Oh, I don't like being told I'm wrong. I don't like that. I'm telling you. If you want to say, well, Nick, your opinion is different than mine, and Nick, your opinion is different than mine, that's fine. We can have different opinions on it.
Oh no, you're just flat out wrong.
I am.
You're just flat out wrong.
Okay, man.
You're just flat out wrong. Opinion aside, anyway, you're flat out wrong.
Yeah, but I think you're kind of ugly. So the reality is, that's my opinion on love languages. And Nick, as much as you have called me wrong and argued about it, you haven't changed my mind.
Well, that's the thing.
Dude.
Have you read the 5 Love Languages book to see how it's backed in Scripture?
Oh, God, I couldn't.
Then you can't sit here and say that I'm wrong and you're right just based off of your opinion without actually doing the research.
Okay, Nick. Yes, I can.
No,
sure
you can't. No, you can't. I can actually prove that astrology is wrong. I can prove that it's demonic. You can't prove what you're saying is right.
What if someone didn't believe you, though?
It doesn't matter if they believe it or not if it's true.
Okay, I'll go there. But that doesn't change my opinion when you start putting people in boxes.
I'm not putting anybody in boxes.
And showing affection.
It's just giving a better understanding of how some people receive love and want love. And then even though they don't, like, say I like to receive words of affirmation and I like to receive physical touch.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, my girlfriend, she's physical touch all the way. She's words of affirmation all the way. But I also think one of her higher ones is quality time. Like, she wants me to spend quality time with her. It doesn't have to be certain things that I have to spend time with her. Like, me spending time texting her is quality time.
Without all of this new world knowledge about how to love somebody, it's amazing the human species made it this far. But they did. You know how? Because it's unnecessary. People are going to love who they love and not love who they don't love. I mean, you don't need to write a book about it.
But it was research that was done that helped save a lot of marriages and a lot of relationships. That's all it did. Because all he was trying to do is trying to put for lack of better terms, label on certain things that people like to receive.
When you say lack of better terms, what better term would you put on label? I
said lack of better terms. That means I don't have a better term.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's a label.
Oh my gosh.
That's my whole point.
I think you're just bitter about it because you probably have had relationships where they've asked you something like, what's your love language? And you think you equate it to, what's your sign?
That's ridiculous.
No, that's exactly. You have put it into the same category as something that doesn't belong with.
When someone were to...
I absolutely hate when people ask me what my sign is. I hate it. I don't hate it when they ask me what love language is.
It makes me go... It makes me wonder why you're not just learning that about me.
But
in a relationship...
Why can't I bluntly ask you what it is? Why can't I do that?
You can, but
that's just a shortcut to get to the answer. That way, I know how to love you.
Yeah. Well, see, all your language is just supporting my argument. Shortcut. There's no time.
But why can't there be shortcuts in that so I can love you properly faster?
Oh, I suppose there can, Nick, but it doesn't change the fact that I still feel like this whole love language, whatever you want to call it, is still just putting people in boxes.
No,
and that is why people are paying affection to them, because now they know.
It's not putting people in boxes, dude. It's just giving a better understanding in more of a understanding way for people to understand it. Like understanding. Kind of like conniving.
Yeah.
All it's doing is help people to understand other people. That's all it's doing, and it's giving them a way to understand how to love each other. And this is mainly meant for romantic relationships, hands down. That's all it's meant for. But it's just it's putting a label on certain things, even though it's going to look different for every person. Like quality time, the reason why it's a vague label, because it could be quality time just sitting on the couch and we're reading separate things, but we're spending quality time together.
Yeah.
It could be like the way they want to spend quality time. It could be watching a movie. It could be us talking. It could be us.
Now what you're doing, Nick, is you're taking the category and making subcategories for it.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works.
It's not just quality time anymore. Oh no, it's reading a book together. Quality.
No. I'm not putting subcategories. I'm saying this is an example of quality time.
You can't talk over me. You can't talk over me. Or it's driving in a car, taking a long road trip. Quality time.
Yes.
Well, why don't you just have that? Why can't
but
that?
That is what that is.
Well, then why can't there be 132 different love languages? That's what it ought to
be. Because that wouldn't be that would not be understandable to people. Of like, well, what does this fall under? That's why it's a vague label of like quality time, words of affirmation. Because you're like, well, what are words of affirmation? I think that one's pretty easy to understand. Acts of service. There's a lot of acts you can do as service.
Yeah, we need some subcategories real quick. Give me some subcategories.
Doing the dishes.
There you go. Okay.
Doing the laundry. Sweeping. Cleaning.
Yeah.
Acts of service. As a man should do, like handiwork. Acts of service.
There's another what, 8 or 10 love languages right there.
No, they're all the same type of love language. It's just a different task.
Well, it's all just love too.
Yes, it is.
Why don't we just call it love?
It is. It's just some people.
Because you've given
you
love
like to receive love in a different way.
Now you
I cannot believe we're talking about this. This is not on the plan.
Subcategories.
Wow. You're wrong, Nick.
You're wrong.
Why do you have such disdain? Was there an instance?
Listen, man.
Wait. Let me ask my question. Was there an instance with the woman that asked you what your love language was, and then something bad happened with that woman that tainted your opinion about the love languages?
Yes. However,
let's hear it. No. Stop saying however, and let's hear that story.
It wasn't a woman I was dating. It was a woman that I had a working relationship
with. It all okay. It's a woman because you want to talk about women today.
And as soon as she started bringing up things like love languages, like at happy hour or break room kind of stuff, whatever, I started to not like her. Not because she was very like. Okay, she was liberal, and so I disagreed with her on all kinds of stuff, right?
Sure.
And I think the first time I went, I might disagree with her, is when she started talking about love languages. Now, I'm going to correct you on one thing, Nick. I don't have disdain for the love languages.
Disdain or disdain?
Disdain.
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 Are you saying disdain or disdain?
With a D. Disdain.
You talking about like you don't have...
I don't like it.
That's disdain with a T.
No, it's not. It's disdain with
that
a
is
D.
not right.
Look it up, dude. You'll look up in a minute. I don't have disdain for love languages. All I was doing was telling you what my opinion was. And then the amount of just counter argumentation and watching your blood boil is actually kind of enjoyable for me. And so that's what elevated the argument. Any takers on D or T? Disdain or disdain?
Hang on. Disdain is a word.
Disdain?
Disdain.
With a D.
Disdain.
With a D or a T, Nick.
With a T. That is a word.
I've never seen that word.
Disdain means a feeling of strong dislike and contempt. Wow, I had that word wrong all the time. I have been wrong on that word. So it's disdain.
I'm not going to say nothing.
It's disdain?
It's disdain.
I thought it was disdain the whole time.
Well, because
disdain
I can't
is actually
tell what you're saying.
You know what disdain means?
No.
It means to take out a stain from a piece of clothing.
I was going to say, it's like taking a stain out.
Because I just looked it up. I'm like, no, I know it's a word.
Said it.
So I've been using that word wrong the whole time. No one wanted to tell me. Thanks, everyone. Wow.
Well, it doesn't matter, Nick, because no one can tell if you're saying a D or a T. Doesn't matter.
That's very true, because we just spent 3 minutes, disdain.
Figure that out.
Disdain.
Anyway, you turned it into an argument, which is why I now have the appearance that I have some sort of disdain for the love language. But I really don't.
It's because of the woman. But you still didn't tell me why you have misleadings with what happened with the woman again?
I just didn't like her, man.
Because she was liberal? That's okay.
Well, no, because she was a bitch, really. Pardon my French.
Thank you for listening to Nick's Right Podcast, where Nick is always right. Make sure to follow us on X at Nick's Right Pod, on TikTok at Nick's Right and Nick's Right Pod, across the board on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere else you can find a podcast at Nick's Right Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.